You know what time it is. Grab your guards, grab your woodies, grab your glasses. Do what you need to do. Kick back how you kick back. I'm going to kick back how I kick back. And let's get into some of these birth charts. Come on with it. Now, Janet's sun is conjunct her Mars. So this just reinforces all of the Martian energy that she already has in her chart. Like, she already has Moon conjunct Venus in Aries. Which we've already discussed, and now we're bringing in Sun conjunct Mars. So I don't know if it's combust or not, but with Sun conjunct Mars, this could be like a father figure. Like, we know that Joe Jackson was known to be like very aggressive, and like that can, and that's like combusting her sun. You see what I'm saying? He's very aggressive. It's combusting her Mars, so she's not really able to express herself when she was growing up. So now that she's older, she takes on that energy. Now she's the aggressive one. Now she's the one who's forcing her way through things. She's the soldier. She's the person who's going to be direct, who's going to just come through. You see what I'm saying? Now she's having that energy, and that relate. So we know where that came from. It's Joe Jackson. That's no mystery where this aspect came from, because they said, because you know the sun represents the father. So with her sun being her father and it being conjunct Mars, it's going to give you a very aggressive father or somebody, and her sun is combusting her Mars, and combusting Mars means that it's like weakening Mars. So that means that there was like an authority figure that was weakening your ability to express your aggression and really be able to be direct and things like all those Martian things, be active and be very upfront. It was a father figure blocking that, combusting that too close, because they're too close. So it's really draining that energy from you, but you're also taking in that energy. So then when you go out into the world, this is how you're going to be. You're going to have that with you. So that's how she got that sun. That's how I think she got her sun conjunct Mars. That's where that comes from, her relationship with her father. Now that she's an adult, she is, you know, following suit. Like, it is what it is. She's going to be aggressive. She's going to be direct first. She's going to be the one to throw the first punch. You see what I'm saying? Now she's going out to the world like that. Now she won't let anybody talk. Now she's going to assert herself because she wasn't able to do that. So now she is trying to overly do this, conjunct her son. So this is who she is. So she doesn't know how to not go and get it. Like, that was instilled in her. Like, and see, that can be one of the positive things of that sun conjunct Mars. You are going to go and get it. That was instilled in her. Her father instilled that in her. Go and get it. Ain't nobody gonna get it for you. You gotta do it. If you ain't gonna work for it, hey, it ain't gonna get done. Like, but this is also a very selfish energy. You see what I'm saying? So you're not necessarily considering how other people feel, what other people have going on. What are you disturbing when you're just bulldozing through these rooms and these people? So that could get her in trouble sometimes too. But her father really instilled that warrior spirit in her, that she can get anything done. You can do anything. Like, but it could come to bite her when she's trying to go through people and things like that. You can't always bulldoze your way through things. You can't always plant your flag. Sometimes you gotta wait your turn. Like, sometimes you have to wait your turn. Like, there's no other way to it. It's not your time. It's not your turn. Wait. Like, and she probably can't stand that. Like, she's probably very impatient. Like, she's a very impatient person. Like, when she wants something done, she wants it done now. Like, no, not when you feel like it. Like, right now. Like, that immediacy, she needs that. And that probably came from her father, her upbringing, where she needed that. She was under that pressure. That's how she was raised. So now she puts that pressure on other people. So probably when she goes on tours and stuff, and like her dances and stuff, she's probably on top of them. Like, no, it's 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2. Like, she's probably like that in rehearsal. Like, she's probably sweet because she has a lot of other aspects that make her nicer about it. But at the end of the day, what she's saying, like, it's going to be aggressive. It's going to be straight to the point. It's going to be direct because that's who she is. That's how she identifies, herself. That's right up on her sun. It's a part of her soul. You know what I mean? She has to learn how to control it, and she probably has over time. She's probably very bad when she was young. She's probably very impatient, very impulsive, liable to go off at any given moment. We didn't know that. We didn't know that. But that's probably how she was. Like, Janet probably... You heard control. But that also has to do with her Scorpio ascendant. But she has a Scorpio ascendant, Sun conjunct Mars, and a Venus conjunct Moon in Aries. Like, control. And a Sun in Taurus, control. Like, that's the theme of her life. Like, that's why it was called, that's the theme of her life. Like, she needs the control of her. She needs that. Like, she doesn't... Yeah, she wants that too. I ain't gonna lie. But she really needs that. Like, she needs to be the one. Like, she needs that. It's not a want for her solely. She does want it as well, but it's a need for her. Like, she needs that control. She needs to be on top of everything. Like, or she doesn't feel right. Like, that'll eat at her if she's not in charge. Like, you see what I'm saying? If I'm not able to... That was probably... That's why she made the album. Like, she wasn't in control of it. Like, she needed that. Like, she had to say something. You see what I'm saying? She couldn't just let them keep taking... No, I'm in control. Like, what are you talking about? I'm me. This could also create a kind of what I say goes. You know what I mean? Like, it's... because her Mercury is also conjunct her Mars. You see where this is going? Oh, Janet, I'm exposing you, girl. I got to expose you, girl. Because her Mercury is also conjunct her Mars. So this is going to bring that same element, that same warrior spirit, that same directness, that same impulsiveness. That's going to bring that into the way that she thinks and the way that she speaks. So we got Janet all wrong. We got Janet all wrong. Because Janet, when she speaks to people, she's going to be direct. She's going to say it to you how it is. She's not going to sugarcoat nothing. Like, that's that Mercury Mars. Dame Dash didn't have a conjunction. He had a square. But you can see, that's that aggressive nature. Like, just the way he speaks to people. Like, that direct, like, in your face, like... like, willing to battle, almost like a war of words. Like, that's the Mercury conjunct Mars. It's like a war of words. It's like, I'ma say it to you once. And you should be able to get it the first time. If I gotta repeat like a Mercury conjunct Mars is not like to repeat themselves, like, at all. Like, at all. It's very impatient. So even her thought process, her mind probably goes like, so, you know what it's not necessarily fast, but she probably jumps from one idea to the other so quick. So that's probably why she's so like, so when she speaks to people, that's how it's coming off. And she's coming off that way because in her mind, she has on to the next one. She needs to plant the next flag. I need to get this one done. You're standing in the way of what I need to do. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's coming out that way. Because in her head, she already has determined what she needs to do. And she's just giving it to you. She just letting you know how it is. And you're not getting it. And it's going to like... it is just not a good thing. Like, and then they'll get even more aggressive, even more direct, because they don't know how to just, say something calmly and politely. No, there needs to be some immediate response. Like, if they're talking to you and like you don't respond, or like they feel like they're being annoyed, or annoyed, ignored. A Mercury Mars person? Oh God, just nod. You don't ignore Mercury. Just nod or whatever you gotta do. But do not ignore them. They'll be ready to fight in a minute. They ready to start arguing in a minute. They're ready to be on the defensive in a minute. Remember, you're bringing that warrior into your Mercury. The way you speak, the way you think. You're ready for a war. You're ready for a fight. You see how you're ready for it. It's not even there, but that's how you're coming into it. Like, and this is probably why she's able to do, like, get a lot of business done, because when you have that kind of mindset, or you go at things in a direct way, you can get a lot of things done just because you can cut through a lot of the BS that comes with being indirect. But you can also mess up a lot of things speaking to the wrong, the wrong, you talk to the right person the wrong way, and it's a wrap for you. Like, you can also blow a lot of things like that because you're too direct, you're being too forceful. It's like you're trying to make someone do something, and most people don't take well to that. And that's where that Mercury and Mars has probably gotten her in trouble before, gotten her, probably lost her some money somewhere along the line. We don't know about it, but with that Mercury conjunct Mars, what Janet says goes. Straight up, or it's going to be a problem. Like, but she's going to be very direct. She's going to be able to get things done, and she's going to always be able to keep it pushing. You know what I mean? She's going to always be able to come up with another idea. She's going to always be able to, because that Mars is going to just speed it up. And Mercury is already fast, but that Mars energy is go, go, go as well. So it's just speeding it up, but it's bringing also an aggressive aspect to it. So she can have an aggressive thought pattern. You see what I'm saying? She can just, just like, even in her plan, it could just be like going through 6 other people, like, and it's like, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't think that way. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more strategic. Sometimes you have to communicate in a different way. And she's probably not good at that because she's very direct. She needs it done now. She's very impulsive when it comes to how she speaks and how she thinks. So she's probably not always making the best decisions, but she's always able to move on and do something else and then maybe make that work. You see what I'm saying? So it can help her in ways, and it can also hinder her in ways. Now, her Mercury conjunct Mars is opposing Neptune. And what do we know about Neptune? Neptune is all about delusion. They say illusion, delusion, however you want to look at it. But you've met a couple of Pisces that were certainly delusional. Don't you lie to yourself. Straight up. No shade, Pisces. I love y'all, but hey, y'all know. That's the funny part. Y'all know. Y'all just think don't nobody else know. I love Pisces. Anyways, Neptune can throw a cloud over things. Neptune can make you too idealistic when it comes to situations. Neptune is all about creativity. It's all about the free mind. It's all about the entire world, the conscience of everyone. Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces is the last sign. The last sign encompasses every other sign. So, with Neptune bringing that energy, and Neptune is very creative, very, it's very nebulous. Like, Neptune is like even hard to describe in words. Like, that's Neptune. Like, it's just that vague cloud of creativity, illusion, all of that. It's like a big cloud. Like, idealistic views and things like that. Like they say, Hollywood is very Neptunian because they put things in front of you that aren't necessarily real. They put images in front of you that aren't realistic. It's all made up. It's all created for you to see. So that's where Neptune is coming from. That's the Neptune energy. So when you're putting that opposite to her Mercury and her Mars, this is going to cloud not only the way that she acts on things or how she goes about getting what she wants, this is going to affect her thought process and how she thinks about things. And with it being in opposition, that means she oftentimes can see the energy coming from the outside world and not necessarily see how these things play out within her. She sees it as an outside issue. So when she's activating her mercurial and her Mars energy on one side, it's hard for her to create. So when she's, because remember, Neptune is creativity. Neptune is the entire world. Neptune is that fog. Neptune is that idealistic kind of everyone. If you threw everything in one bed, like the melting pot, like that's Neptune. Like Neptune is everything. Like everything is everything. Lauryn Hill status, like that's Neptune. Like so when it's hard for her to bring those two together. She goes either from one end of the spectrum or to the other end of the spectrum. So when she's being creative and she's being conscious and all of these things, it's hard for her to think clearly and to act. So this is probably why we see Janet disappearing so much. Like we see Janet for a while and then we won't see her at all. And then she'll be very active and then we won't see her at all. Like that's where that comes from. Because it's hard for her to do both. It's hard for her to be creative and consider the whole and be conscious and all of those things and still be able to get the things done that she needs to get done and still be able to think, you know what I mean, to plan and communicate the way that she needs to. It's hard for her to do. She goes from one end of the spectrum to the other. So probably we don't see her when she's like in her creative zone. That's probably when she's creating. She's probably making her album and all of the getting into religious things and stuff like that, because Neptune can also deal with spirituality and things like that. So that's probably when we don't see her. That's probably what she's doing. Now when we do see her, that's when we get to see that Mercury Mars energy, that Taurus energy, where we see her dancing and everything else. Like, and this opposition also has to do with what makes her a great dancer, because you'll see, because what is Mars? Mars is your movement, your physical movement. You go out and physically do things, get it done. Now, Neptune is creativity, it's like the ultimate flow of the world, like the world. So when you bring those two energies together, even though they're not conjunct, they're activating one another. It can make you have very creative, very fluid, creative movements. So you'll see a lot of famous dancers and things like that, they have some kind of Mars Neptune aspect in their chart. It's not always some of them it will be a conjunction and it'll be opposition, it'll be a square, but they'll have that energy in their chart where they can, create with their movements, their actual physical movements. So that just reinforces her being a dancer, as well as her Taurus energy, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus also gives her that creative, that longing to create. But that's more with her singing, her voice, because Taurus rules the throat. So that more so contributes to her wanting to sing. But as far as her being a dancer as well, that comes from her Taurus sun, the creativity. But that Mars Neptune aspect makes her want to be fluid and creative with her movements. So that's why it's such a big part in her chart. It just reinforces it. And then she has all of this Martian energy in her chart. Mars is so strong in her chart. So that's affecting, so that's why dance is such a big part of her career and such a big part of her entertainment and what she's known for. She has so much of that physical energy in her chart. She has so much Aries, and that Mars is so dominant in her chart. It's going to affect her entire life where it wouldn't just be a hobby. Now, if she didn't have such strong Mars influence in her chart, she may have just did it as a hobby. Like, she may have just liked to dance at the house, like, people dance at the house when they chilling, listen to their music, kicking back, like we kicking back right now. That's what Janet would be doing. But since she had that sun in Taurus that wanted to sing, and she had that moon in Aries that was going to go out and put her in the forefront, that Mars opposite Neptune, that fluid mood, that movement, her trying to balance that energy out because she's trying to figure it out in her chart, right? Sorry, I didn't get to tutting over here for no reason. Anyway, with that being in her chart, that's going to impact her entire chart because Mars is the ruler of her moon. Mars is the ruler of her Venus, and your Venus is your creativity. Venus is how you want to create. You see what I'm saying? Venus is what you're attracted to, what you like, what you find pleasing. So, with all of that going on, and her Mars being in, influencing all of these aspects of her chart, that's just going to make it an even heavier influence overall. You see what I'm saying? Because it's impacting so many different planets in her chart, so many of the different signs, not different signs, but the different planets in her chart that Mars is impacting, that Mars is influencing, because it's not the ruler of her chart, but as far as aspects go, it's probably definitely her most dominant planet from what I can see. So she probably feels like when she tries to express herself and when she's being direct, because remember Mercury conjunct Mars is very direct, it's very aggressive, it's very impulsive. When she's trying to express herself, when she's trying to be, get something done, and she's trying to just, say it how she feels it, like straight up, when she's just trying to say it how it is, she feels like everyone else, because it's an opposition, remember, she feels like everyone else plays the victim. Like, oh, I'm the bad guy. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm the bad guy. You the victim. Like, but I was just saying it how it was. Like, I'm just doing what I need to do. Like, how is that victimizing you? Like, that's how she's not gonna see the big, you know what I mean? She's not going to see how her words could make someone, how her words could even have that impact on. She's not going to understand that. Like, how can me being me and saying it how I see it, you know what I mean, hurt you, like, or hurt the world, or hurt anybody else? How can what little old me says or does impact the entire world? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Like, how did that hurt you? Like, no. Like, she's not going to see that at all, which is unrealistic because the things you say can impact the world. They can. Look at where she's at. Like, they can. The things you do can have an impact on how people feel in the bigger picture. And the higher consciousness it can, like, but she doesn't see that. She just sees it as, what I have, you know what I mean? What does what I'm doing have to do with all of that? Like, what I do ain't got nothing to do with all of that. But then, in the same token, she could also take the role of Neptune in being that she feels like the victim of other people's aggressive words or actions. You see what I'm saying? So it goes back and forth. That's why you see her, like, after a while, she started saying, like, people were doing this, and this. We started finding out, then she, like, accused her ex-husband of being abusive and all these type of things. So then she takes on a Neptune, and the other person is or the other people are the Mercury and the Mars, where she feels like they're being aggressive towards her, or they're saying mean, people are saying mean things about her and things like that. Then she's on the Neptune end, but when she's doing it, she can't seem to understand how they could feel that same way. You see what I'm saying? She's not able to bring those two together. Now the last point of Janet's chart that I want to discuss is her Sun and Mars being conjunct in the 7th house. We've already discussed her Sun and Mars conjunction. However, with it being in the 7th house, this is going to affect the people that she ends up in relationships with. So, she already has that Venus in Aries. Remember that. Now we're putting her Sun and Mars in the 7th house. So she's attracting people that are just as aggressive as she is. You know what I She's attracting people just like her daddy. Like, not even trying to be funny. Not even trying to be, I'm laughing, but I ain't even trying. She's just like her dad. Straight up. She probably look at them niggas sometimes like, why? Like, what am I doing wrong? Why do I keep attracting my father? Like, then they probably don't even seem like it at first, because it's in Taurus, and I believe Joe Jackson was a Leo. So they probably don't come off as brash or as, like, braggadocious or gregarious. But, like, at the end of the day, once she gets into the situation, she's like, oh, you selfish too. Like, you all about you too. So she ends up with these men that are all about themselves too. Like, it's messed up. It's messed up. But this can also affect her ego and her self-esteem, because you're putting your Sun and who you are into the house of other people. You see what I'm saying? Into a house of other people, because Aries is all about I. Libra is all about we, and Libra is 7th house. 7th house is ruled by Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. So, you're putting that into the house of we. So, when she evaluates herself and who she is, she's always thinking about we. She's always thinking about relationships. She's always thinking about herself in relation to another person. It's not just her. And that's the part that probably affects her self-esteem, because the rest of her chart really, really solidifies any, like, it really rids her of any ego issues that she would have. She would really be a very self-reliant person and really only care about what she thinks. But when we're putting that, once we take that Sun and Mars and we put that in her 7th house, who she's attracted to are selfish people. You see what I'm saying? Who she's attracted to are aggressive people, selfish people, people who are just out to go and get it for themselves. That's who she's attracted to. She's going to be attracted to those type of people. Mars can also bring that aggression. That Mars can also bring abuse in relationships. That can also be Pluto, but Mars can too, with the right aspects. But it's like that's what she's attracted to as well. So imagine bringing this energy together, and then once she gets with these people and she realizes, like, oh, you're all about yourself. With her moon conjunct Venus, she wants to relate, so she probably tries to stay in these relationships, but it's in Aries, so she's really all about herself too. So it's like, how can I be mad at you when this is who I am? But and then she probably gets into a whole situation in her head like, I'm done. I'm just gonna go sit over here in my corner. Like, straight up. Because it's like, I can't get no leeway, but I need love, but I need to do what I need to do, but the people I'm attracted to are all about themselves, but I need a relationship, so I kind of need somebody who is about a relationship. That's not what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to all these bad boys. This is where the bad boy thing comes in too. Sun conjunct Mars in the 7th house. You want the soldier. You want the warrior. You want the gang member. Like, that's what you're attracted to. Straight up. Straight up. That's what you're attracted to. You're attracted to the bad boy. You want you a nasty boy, like you said. You want the dude with the strap. Like you want the dude toting the gun around. Like you want the dude that everybody else is scared of. Like you want the like that's just is what it is. And everybody might not necessarily be scared of him, but he's ready to go. You know he defend at any given moment. You know he's a warrior. He's ready to go. That's what she likes. But with that also comes that impulsivity. You see what I'm saying? That also comes that aggression. It also comes all those things. So although these men she's attracted to may be fun and they go out together and they do things together and they probably have sex all the time and all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, you see what I'm saying? It's gonna burn out quick. It's gonna go quickly, very quickly. It's gonna burn out just as quick as it started. You know what I mean? Because he's gonna keep going. He's planting his flag. You're just another flag at the end of the day. That's what you're attracted. You're attracted to a dude who's gonna be that way. But you need this relationship. But you're so relationship focused. So it's like causing probably a rift within herself. Like, dang, why can't I just get like not a regular dude? Because she's like I told you, Taurus is they need to secure the bag. I told you that. But why can't I just get somebody that just wants to sit down and make a family and just chill out and let me do what I need to do and he go do what he needs to do and we just be happy. Like that's what she's at in her mind. But it's like, no, you're not gonna get that because the men that you want, the men that you're attracted to, the men that you're attracting are about themselves. They're on the same time as you. You feel me? They trying to hustle just as hard as you. So that doesn't leave that much time for you. Unfortunately, you're just another flag. Like they're just putting a flag. Like they just smashed Janet. Like not trying to be funny, but real talk though. Real talk though. That's what you're attracted to. That's what you're gonna get. You feel me? The one night stands. You know what I mean? That Mars. And then you're identifying yourself with these relationships, so she probably stays in them way longer than she should be. They're probably super toxic, probably getting cheated all over, cause that Mars energy, Mars can stray. Mars, like I told you, they just plant the flag and they keep it moving. And Mars energy can stray. And it can be aggressive. So she probably be fighting in her relationships, all kinds of arguing all the time, all kinds of stuff like. And she's still in a relationship because that's a part of who she is. She identifies herself with being with someone else. So probably before she started dating, she identified herself with her family, her brothers. Like that was probably the we before that. And then it was probably, you know what I mean? And then it went on to whoever she was dating. And now it's just like, now it's probably her son. Like that's probably the we now. You know what I mean? Like it's not always necessarily a romantic relationship. And people get that twisted. It's not always but it's just like another person, like another individual outside of yourself, like that you always have to be attached to. You always have to form that relationship when you'll do anything to sustain that relationship even when it's toxic. Like that can be 7th house stuff, 7th and 8th house, but 7th house can definitely get you into that where you're just in a relationship to be in a relationship. You know it's bad, you know it's toxic, like you know, and you're just in a relationship just to keep up with, just to keep up airs, just to keep up that front. That's what the sun in the 7th house can do. Well, they'll be in that relationship just for the appearance of that relationship. They probably not even happy or anything else because she has Mars in there as well. So they're probably very aggressive, probably a lot of arguing, probably a lot of fighting and all of that. And that probably beat down on her after a while. You know what I mean? Because then we saw she was crying about how people had hurt her self-esteem and things like that. And they probably had because she is attracted to these selfish bad boys. You see what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody thinking about your feelings. She has Moon conjunct Venus. So she's really a sensitive person at the end of the day. Even though she does have fire, she's that Moon conjunct Venus, she's a sensitive person. Like, it is what it is. And she loves people. And she loves genuinely. Like, Like Moon conjunct Venus is like that genuine love. Like you're bringing the two, like two benefic planets, like two emotional, feely, loving planets together. So like at the end of the day, Janet is very loving. She's probably very giving. She's probably very compromising. She wants to be. She needs to be in a relationship. Like she's probably very giving of herself, but in a, like I said, in a selfish way, because she has that Aries energy. But when she's coming into contact with these men who I don't know what else they have in their chart, they may not necessarily have that Moon, Venus, you know what I mean? They may not necessarily have that to balance out all of that selfish energy. So she ends up getting the short end of the stick. And she ends up being the one hurt. Because she was really, you know what I mean? She was really in her feelings about it. Even though it may have been just as quick, just as impulsive. But she really cared. And they were probably just looking at it like, oh, this I'm finna get it with Janet Jackson. She's looking at it like a relationship. You see what I'm saying? Because she has Moon conjunct Venus. That's a relationship aspect. Then she has, what, two planets? Two planets in her seventh house? That's relationship based. But, and then she has her Sun in Taurus. So she has all of these Venusian aspects going on. And Venus is all about relating. Yeah, Venus is all about pleasurable things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's so sad. That's messed up. Hopefully she'll find a nice guy. Hopefully. That isn't selfish. Because people can be selfish and still be like generous. But they're just not giving. You know what I mean? They're not giving for the right reason, so to speak. So that was part 4 of Janet's chart. We got to look at some of the aspects in her chart. You know, not just aspects today. We got into some of the influence, some of the houses. You know, we got to see why Janet is always going through, you know, a little bit of turmoil when it comes to her relationships. Then again, don't we all? But we got to see how, you know, Janet Jackson is not necessarily as sweet as she comes off sometimes. And how she attracts, you know, the bad boy. How she's attracted to the bad boy type. So, as always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you kick back with part 5. Come on with it.